Welcome back, track fans global. We're here. Continue our coverage of the World Athletics Championship going down in the land of the rising sun. Commander call Japan. Day 5, excellent, like all the other days. And I'm here to talk about it. So just stay with me for the next hour or so as we dive into World Championship day number 5. Alright, so the sound quality sounds okay. So I guess we're ready to go. Alright, so if you have been missing the World Championship so far, you have been missing some extraordinary performances. I must say though that this World Championship is one of the most unpredictable one I've ever seen. It's not predictable at all. A lot of persons who were predicted to win events, they are not winning events. So it's very interesting. Very, very interesting to say the least. All right, and welcome to the persons who now join. I can see that there is 3 persons on here. Please remember to like and subscribe and share. Right, so the video can reach out there. All right, welcome. Like the live, make the live reach out there. Day number 4 is in the books, and day number 5, that's what we're here to talk about today. All right, I think you can see me now. All right. Welcome. I hope you are all doing well. Yeah, so we're gonna dive into it right away. Day number 5 results. Right, you know we do it already. We review, we preview, right? And then we look at what's new. So that's where we're at. So day number 5 pretty much begins with the triple jump men's qualification, right? And in that, right, we see the clear favorites, as it were, going through without much fuss, right? I'm going to share my screen with you guys momentarily because we're going to go through all the results. Today, Jamaica bagged 1 more silver medal, and the 200 meters were fire. All right, I'm going to share my screen momentarily. So I think you can see my screen right now. All right, you can see my screen right now. Yeah, so that you're seeing right now, World, my bad. Yeah, so that you're seeing right now, the World Athletics site, we like to look at this. Yeah, so you can see that 11 events were on. The men's triple jump started the day really, and in it, so we're going to look at the results. We're going to look at the full details of all the athletes that qualified. Right, as I said before, the major proponents went through. Right, and as being Jamaican, you know I'm cheering for Jordan Scott, right, to possibly take a medal. He can possibly win it too, you know, because a lot of the guys who are in this, through the season, they trade blows, they trade wins, and Jordan Scott beat many of these men on different occasions. All right. So at the top, the man qualifying first was Tricky of Algeria, and he jumped 17.26 meters to qualify. Jordan Scott 17.19 meters. Pedro Pichardo, Portugal 17.09 meters. Andrea Dalla Valle 17.08 meters. Jonathan Serimes, France 17.07 meters. Zango, right, of Burkina Faso, who is an 18 meters plus jumper. He qualified for another final, jumping 16.94 meters. Andy Diaz Hernandez, right, one of the favorite. I think he's like the highest jumper this year. He jumped 16.94, so he didn't look too impressive in qualifying. Lazaro Martinez 16.93. Wen Su of China 16.90. Salif Main of USA 16.86. Kinley of Austria 16.85, a national record for Austria. And Zhu of China was the last qualifier, 16.83 meters. So as we can see, the major proponents, they are through to the finals without fail. Yeah, the Diamond League champion Diaz, who qualified 7, didn't look as impressive. Right, I expect the medals to be between Diaz, Hernandez, Pablo Pichardo, Tricky, and Jordan Scott. These are the guys we expect the medals to be between. Right, so let's see how they actually perform in the final to come. Now, continuing on, in the day's timetable, right, we have the men's javelin qualification was also on this day, right, and we're going to look at that shortly. The men's javelin qualification, the full results of who made it through. You know, the javelin have one of the longest standing world records. The world record for the javelin throw is like 98 meters plus. That was from 1995. Yeah, so Anderson Peters of Grenada qualified best, 89.53. Julian Weber was thrown 91 meters this year, qualified second, 87.21. Julius Yego of Kenya, 85.96. David Wegner of Poland qualified fourth, 85.67. The next qualifier was Nadeem of Pakistan, who was a medalist, who has been to major finals and award medal already, 85.28. Niraj Chopra, the other 90-meter thrower this year, 84.85 to qualify. Curtis Thompson of the United States, 84.72. Vlajdek, 84.11 of Czechia. Kishan Walcott of the Twin Islands Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, 83.93. Yadav of India, 83.67. McIntyre of Australia, 83.03. And the last qualifier is actually Patridge of Sri Lanka, 82.80, right? Qualified for the javelin finals. Right, and I know a lot of people, this is not what they want to hear right now. They don't want to hear field events. You have a lot of people who, they just like track events only. And then you have people that they like everything concerning track and field. And I'm that kind of guy. I like to watch almost every event. I watch every event. The thing is, if persons would spend some time, right, watching track events, then they themselves would realize that they are very, very exciting, right? So, especially the men's pole vault. We see the men's pole vault this year, 6 meters and 30 from Mando de Plantis. That battle with him and Corrales was very, 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 very nice, you know. It's a field event and I liked it, yeah? Now, look back at my screen again. So as we jump down, right, we're gonna leave the woman's pole vault a bit, right, and we're gonna go to the woman's 200 meter heats, which I know people want to hear this. The woman's 200 meters heats, right, not a lot of people give away a lot of things, right? The major people that we were looking forward to seeing, they were there and they show up, right? In the women's 200 meters heat 1, it was actually a Navy battle of the United States that win it. She ran 22.07 seconds. Very impressive by a Navy battle, right? She has run sub 22 already in her lifetime. This year she has won a lot of races on the Diamond League, and so to run 22.07 here, yeah, it's a big step up for her. Right, she has been consistent, and the one I expect to make the final in second was Marie-José Talou from Ivory Coast. She ran 22.39, and in third was Imanal Olido of Greece, and I'm not sure I pronounced that right. She take the third automatic spot, 22.92, to go through to the next round, semifinals. In heat number 2 was Melissa Jefferson Wooden, right, the world 100 meter champion, breaking the world record in the process. She's making a strong case, Melissa Jefferson Wooden, for the double. And she looks very impressive in her 200 meter heats, 22.24. To finish ahead of Thelma Davies of Liberia, 22.76 seconds, and Jessica Jabal of Ivory Coast, 22.81 seconds. So those were the top 3 that goes through. From heat number 3, right, you see Mackenzie Long. She takes the victory, 22.51, ahead of Ashanti Moore and Sophia Junk. Right, that's how you'd expect it to go. Right, Mackenzie Long has run sub 22 this year. Ashanti Moore has run 22.31 this year. I expect her to be in the final. Ashanti Moore from Jamaica, she did well, very well this season. Heat number 4, right, the first 4 heats of the women's 200 meter was all won by America. And Brittany Brown take heat number 4. Brittany Brown qualified to this World Championship via Diamond League wildcard. She was the Diamond League champion. And so she made the 4 persons for America in the 200 meters. She won her heat 22.50 ahead of Antonique Strawn, who ran a personal best, a season best, 22.57 seconds, ahead of Daryl Nita, who ran 22.59 seconds. Yeah, so heat number 4, so far, heat number 5, everyone that has won, right, we expect them to win. Right, heat number 5, continue the same. Sharika Jackson, 22.33, ahead of Amy Hunt, 22.57, and Inky Vervet of Belgium, 22.74. Those were the 3 automatic spots. Audrey Laduc, right, was in 4th. I expected her to qualify outright from that heat, but she struggled, right, and so she finished in 4th. Right, in heat number 6, Dina Asher-Smith was the victor, and to be fair, Dina Asher-Smith looked very impressive. She was so easy. She just came off the curve and just eased down the straight. She won in 22.40, ahead of Tori Lewis, the young Australian. Tori Lewis have been doing good all through this championship. She ran an Australian record in the 100 meters, in the semifinal, in the heats. and she failed to make the final. So she has been running good. She's young, and I think it was last year she take a major victory over some big people in the Diamond League, including Sha'Carri Richardson. So from that time, people have been looking out for Tori Lewis, an up-and-coming youngster who in years to come probably will be doing well for Australia. JL Besto was in the third automatic spot. So from E6, it was Dina, Tori Lewis, and Besto that make it through automatically. Now the full result of those who make it to the semi-final is this. So we look at the first qualifiers, but those who advance on time are Julia Henriksen of Sweden and Paravi of France, and Ido of Japan made it through on time. Photo Polo of Cyprus also 22.98, and Mariam Sanchez of Mexico made it through on time. So these made it through on time. They were not in the automatic spots. Yeah, as we Audrey Leduc of Canada also made it through on time. So those were the 6 that made it through on time, right, along with the winners, right, who made it through outright. Now, the men's 200 meters heats, right, this was firework. Men's 200 meter heats was firework, right, and go according to plan, right, all the major proponents as it were, right, go through by right. Yeah, so in heat number 1, we have Alexander Agondo of Dominica Republic. He made it through, winning the heat 22.10 seconds ahead of Wade Van Niekerk, right, the world record holder in the 400 meters, who ran 20.19. And in third was Timothy Motem Ehler of Switzerland. He take the third automatic spot, 20.39 seconds. And for all the persons here, please remember to like the live, make the live reach out there. Henrik Larsson of Sweden, right, 22.40, that was a personal best for him. Henrik Larsson is known more as a 60-meter runner, 100-meter runner, not 200. But he ran the curve well. The first part of this race, he ran it well, but he died on the straight. Of course, you know, Alex Agando and Wade Van Niekerk, these men are 400-meter straight. So they come flying down the home straight. All right, so heat number 2 of the men's 200 meters, it was the NCAA champion, Makarao of Zimbabwe, who won, running 19.91 seconds. You know, as I look at this race, you know, it was very interesting between Courtney Lindsay and Makarao. Courtney Lindsay seemed like he was more reserved than Makarao, because Courtney Lindsay was in lane number 8, but he went out and he couldn't see Makarao. When he see Makarao on the inside, then he had to run back. So to me, Courtney Lindsay, as it were, was more easier than Makarao. But both of them run sub 20 in the heats. And that's what you will see through this qualification. A lot of men are running like sub 20 during the heats, right? And that is because this year, a lot of men have run sub 20 in the 200 meters, right? A lot. I think it's 19 men that has run like sub 20 in the 200 meters this year, right? And so that's why the heats are like that. In third place was Adrian Carr, right? Very proud of Adrian Carr. To be fair, Adrian Carr, his personal best is 20.09 run this year to qualify. But when I look at him running this 20.13, it seemed like it was easy, right? When he came around on the straight and he realized that he was a clear third, he just go through the motions and he made it through. So Adrian Carr at 20.13 looks like in the semifinals that he can possibly run a personal best, right? So I'm looking forward to see if he will actually do that, right? So those were the three that goes through from heat number 2. Heat number 3, we see Kenny Bednarik. And Kenny Bednarik, guys, he looks very impressive. Kenny Bednarik looked very, 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 very impressive. I would say Kenny Bednarik looked the second easiest of all the qualifiers. And he won his heat running 19.98 seconds. Finished ahead of Azariki of Nigeria, who run 20.27. And Dambele of South Africa was third, running 20.27. Right, so Kenny Bednarik looked like he's out to win this thing. Heat number 4, Noah Lyles won heat number 4, running 19.99. To be fair, Noah Lyles are the hardest heat of all the favorites, because in his heat he had Zarnell Hughes, who run 20.07 for second, and Christopher Taylor was third in 20.26, a personal best. I'm really happy for Christopher Taylor, right? He tried so hard all through the season to make the World Championship qualifying time, right? But he only made it to the World Championship and World ranking, as in via World Championship quota. As of what, to see him come here and make it to the semifinals in a personal best, you can't ask for anything more than that. Andre DeGrasse was in this heat and he actually finished in 4th. But I think Andre DeGrasse went through also on time. But let's see that when we look at the full result. Now, heat number 5, Brian Level. When I watch this race, guys, Brian Level, I know we don't like to make time predictions, guys, but Brian Level, I've never seen a man run 19.84 so easy in recent times. Brian Level come off the curve at least 2 to 3 meters ahead of the field. And when he touched the straight, he was like left and right and left and right. It was so easy. I'm telling you guys from now. We always talk about the big three, Kenny, let's say Little Bogo and Noah Lyles. But if 19.84 can look so easy from a level that has been resting since the season began, since the championship began, guys, he can possibly shake up the podium. Look, running 19.8 looking so easy, guys. The sky is really the limit for him, really. I'm thinking from that run that probably Level might be able to run 19.6 low or 19.5 something. And that is sort of time that can get you on the podium. Whether he's going to win it is yet to be seen. Right, Maka Charamba was second in this race, 20.06, right? And Goat, very popular youngster, very young man, about 17 years old, coming up, was in third, right, running 20.23 seconds. Now looking at this, I think Goat is going to struggle to make the finals. A lot of us, including myself, predicted that he might be able to make the finals. But based on the quality that we're seeing, I don't know if it's going to be possible for Goat to make the finals. But at 17 years old, if he does not make the final, then we can give and take, because he's certainly one for the future. They say the next Usain Bolt. Right, heat number 6, right, we see the Olympic champion, let's say the Tobago, and he did not come out of first gear. Let's say the Tobago was really easy, guys. Really easy. Did not come out of first gear. All right, and so we expect a lot more from him, right? He ran 20.18 to finish ahead of Ajak of Netherlands, 20.35, and Uzoa of Japan was in third, 20.39 seconds. So yeah, that's how the men's 200-meter heats went. Those were the automatic qualifiers from each heat. Now I'm going to look at the summary. Now, on the summary of who actually, the rest of persons that qualify, right? Ryan Zizi of France qualified 13 to 20.23. Andre DeGrasse qualified on time 20.30. Aaron Brown of Canada also qualified on time 20.33. William Reyes of Switzerland 20.38 qualifying on time also. Henrik Larsson of Sweden also qualifying on time 20.40, and Jerome Blake of Canada qualified on time 20.43. I was really surprised that Jerome Blake did not do better in this 200-meter heats, but probably he's tired because remember Jerome Blake made it to the semifinals of the 100 meters. Yes, and he did well, right? Barely missing the 100-meter finals. So he's probably tired, right? But a lot more action was on day number 5, right? Some finals that we want to talk about also. So as we come down the list of things that take place, right, we see the men's long jump finals. Yeah, in the men's long jump finals, Jamaica bags another medal. Tajay Gill, right, the 2019 world champion, actually takes the silver medal in the long jump, right? But the world indoor champion become the world outdoor champion in Italy's Furlani, right? Furlani of Italy takes the victory 8.39 meters, a personal best, finishing ahead of Tajay Gill, my countryman, 8.34 meters, and Yashi Shi of China was third, 8.33 meters. For most of this long jump competition, it was Tajay Gill and Shi. Well, it was Tajay Gill from early, 8.33, and then China's Shi jumped 8.33 also. Then Tajay Gill jumped 8.2 something to be leading on tiebreak. And then in the 4th round, Furlani comes out and jumped 8.39 meters. And Tajay Gill couldn't respond to that. Simon E. very talented Swiss Diamond League champion, was in 4th. Saba Yakov of Bulgaria, 8.19 meters, was in 5th. Zhang of China was in 6th. Muntler of Sweden was in 7th. And Lester Leske, 17.98 meters. He's a former Cuban right now jumping for Spain. Right, so the persons who are on here, please like, share out the live. Right, so the men's long jump competition was good. Long jump over the years have been pretty much on the lower side comparing to what men used to jump in time pass. Yeah, so give and take, right? But to win a medal of any color, still very impressive. Right, so Jamaica now stands on the medal table. Jamaica now have 1 gold, 3 silver, right, and a bronze. Right, so Jamaica now has 5 medals, right, and that is a good showing so far. I expect like Jamaica to like get more medals. Would want to see Jamaica get more gold medals, because on the medals table right now, Kenya and the United States, as it were, are running away with it. All right. So the next final that happened on today was actually the women's pole vault. So the women's pole vault final was today. right? Women's pole vault final was today. But before we look at that, let's look at the women's 400-meter hurdles. That you can see on your screen right now is the women's 400 meters hurdles semi-final. And in the semi-final of the women's 400-meter hurdles, we know it was all the Femke Ball show. So what kind of show? The Femke Ball show, right? And she did as expected in her semi-final. Now there were 3 semi-finals. Semi-final 1 was won by Woodruff of Panama in an area record, South American record, of 52.66 seconds. She actually finished ahead of Jasmine Jones, who have been running good, 53.01 seconds. And Emma Zaplatalova of Slovakia ran 53.22 seconds. And I think this is another national record for the Slovak athlete. She has broken her national record now at least 4 times this year. Is Zaplatalova of Slovakia. Now in heat number 2, Femke Ball was in heat 2. And of course it was the Femke Ball show. She won it running 52.31 seconds ahead of Delilah Mohammed, 53.14 seconds. And in third position was Van den Broek of Belgium, who ran a national record, 53.66 seconds. Right? So Femke Ball and Delilah Mohammed, the 2 favorites, they went through. Femke Ball is the overwhelming favorite for the women's 400-meter hurdles. Though in this championship, favorites don't do so well, Femke Ball, I think, will run away with this one. And I think she will be running something sub 52. She won't be able to break the world championship record, but she will run sub 52 to be sure and take the gold. Now, who's going to get the silver in the 400-meter hurdles for women is yet to be seen. All right. In heat number 3, Anna Cockrell, right off the United States, she takes it 53.28 seconds. Finish ahead of Cheyenne Salman, 54.03 seconds to take the next automatic spot. Now, as we look at the complete result, I was surprised that a few athletes did not make it, right, to the finals, right? I was surprised that Anjanette Knight did not make it to the final, right? Anjanette Knight actually, in heat number 1, she finished 5th, running 54.35, right? I was surprised she did not make it into the finals. I had her in my predictions before the World Championship, right, being in the final and challenging for a medal. Now, those who will be challenging for a medal, right, we know Femke Ball more likely will win the gold, and then Woodruff and Delilah Mohammed, Anna Cockrell, and Jasmine Jones. Those are the ones that will be challenging for the silver and the bronze, as it were, right? But I'm thinking more people is thinking, just like me, that Femke Ball pretty much might run away with this. Might. And I say might because things can happen. That's why I run the races. All right. In the men's 400-meter hurdles semi-final, right, the heat number 1 was won by Samba of Qatar. Yeah, you guys know Samba. Samba is the 5th fastest athlete of all times in the 400-meter hurdles. He has run sub 47. He has run 46.96, I think, yeah. So he's like the 5th fastest athlete of all time, and he takes it ahead of Karsten Warholm, 47.72, which he is the world record holder, the only man to run sub 46 in the 400-meter hurdles. Just saying that I'm checking to see if I'm really saying the right thing, because it was in this exact stadium in Tokyo that Karsten Warholm ran 45.94 seconds. And when he did that, right, we were wondering if our eyes were seeing correctly. 45.94. So he's the world record holder. Ajikom of Germany, 47.83, he was personal best, right? But the men 400-meter hurdles, if you're gonna miss any race, please don't miss this one, because Samba, 5th fastest of all time, Karsten Warholm, 1st fastest of all time, the only man to run sub 46, is in it. We have in heat number 2 Nathaniel Ezekiel, the NCAA champion from Nigeria, who has broken a Nigerian record, right, at least 4 times this year. Won that heat 47.47, finished ahead of Abakar of Qatar 47.61, which is a personal best for Abakar. And finishing third was Caleb Dean, 47.85 seconds. Our own Malik James King was 4th in 48.01. He did not make it to the finals. 48.01 does not make it to the finals. I had said it before the championship started. I said it that if a man is not prepared to run sub 48, he might not make it into the finals of the 400-meter hurdles. Is that stock, right? So Abakar, Dean, and Nathaniel Ezekiel, those are the 3 that goes through. Heat number 3, Roy Benjamin won 47.95. Dos Santos, right, which Roy Benjamin is the 2nd fastest athlete of all times. Alison Dos Santos, the 3rd fastest athlete of all times. So you see where we're at? And Almeida of Qatar, 48.29, personal best, could not have made it through. So this is the final, right? You have the 5th fastest of all time, the 1st fastest of all time, the 2nd fastest of all time, and the 3rd fastest of all time. Now, Warholm, Benjamin, and Dos Santos, that's more likely where the medals will be going. These guys way under 47 seconds and way ahead of the rest of the field. So we expect that the medals will go between these 3. Right? Samba might be able to create an upset, and one more prediction before I go. Karsten Warholm is gonna break the 400-meter hurdles world record in the finals, right? And of course, you hear it here first. So when he does break it, right, the guys can say that Track Fans Global did say Karsten Warholm will break the world record, right? And the reason I'm saying this, guys, is this: when Karsten Warholm in Zurich run 32.68 seconds in the 300-meter hurdles, that was significantly faster than 45.94 seconds in the 400-meter hurdles. The pace that he ran in Xiamen, China for that first time on the 33.04 is the same pace which he went through in Tokyo in 2021 when he broke the world record, 45.94. So I'm assuming that Warholm is at least almost 4/10 faster now than 2021. And so if he can go through sub 33 in the first 300 meter of his 400-meter hurdles in the final, then he can come back and run 45.8 or 45.7, and that would break the world record in the 400-meter hurdles, right? But everything that I just said a while ago is meant to be taken with a grain of salt, as in it might go so or it might not go like that. All right. Question to the persons out there: do you think that Karsten Warholm will break the record? The 400-meter hurdles record? Let me hear. Just type in the comment section. You can see. I know one will penalize you for making a prediction or be wrong in a prediction, because we do it all the time, but we're not put in jail for it, because this is just sport. All right. Now, 2 finals remain on day number 5, and it's the 3,000 meters steeplechase woman and the 1,500 meters final for man. Now, the expected winners of these events did not win. And that's what I've been saying about this championship. It's very unpredictable. So a lot of the predictions that we did prior championship, they went up in smoke. Right? And the reason I'm saying this is this. The winner for the 3,000 meter steeplechase woman, right, was Cherotich of Kenya. She ran 8 minute 51.59, championship record. She finished ahead of Yavi, which she was the favorite to win it, 8:56.46 seconds. And in third was Semba Amayu of Ethiopia, 8:58.86. You know, Ethiopia has been trying for a good while now to win the 3,000 meter steeplechase for women, and they have not been successful. So probably in time to come they will become successful, but they have not been able to win it. Right? So it's another medal for Ethiopia, a bronze, but still failing to win the steeplechase for women. You know what's interesting? All of Kenya's medals so far, gold medals so far, all of Kenya's gold medals so far has been coming from the woman. The Kenyan woman has been dominant in the events. Beatrice Chebet, the 10,000 meter champion. Paris Chepchirchir, the marathon champion. Faith Kipyegon, 1,500 meter champion. And now Faith Cherotich, right, the 3,000 meter steeplechase champion. So Kenya's woman has been doing a superb job, right? In the men's 1,500 meter final, which was the last final on the day, right, the winner was not expected. Isaac Nader of Portugal, take the crown. 3 minutes 34.10. Finish ahead of Jake Whiteman, the surprise champion from some years ago. 3:34.12. Renal Chariot of Kenya was third. 3:34.25. Now, this is the problem that I have with 800, with middle distance races like 800, 1,500, and then the longer distance races like 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. And as I look at it, this is the reason why those events in particular are hard to predict. When a person go out running superbly in an event, like say Jacob Ingebrigtsen, for instance, in one-half races, and he run some shattering times. If you notice how far behind the competitors are, they are not really close. Very far behind. So in those situations, those athletes look dominant, right? But when in a championship, when every man would play tactics, every man would play skill, they slow down the race to such a place now where any man can win it. And in the 1,500 and most of the races, this championship, where the favorites do not win, this is what happened. They slow the race down, right, to the place where 400 meters to go, multiple persons are in it that can win it. And so them end up being outkicked. But I think going forward, right, the favorites really want to win these events. I think they have to just go for it. Break the spirit of the other athletes. And I think this was the thing, with like Haile Gebre Selassie, right, and Kenenisa Bekele, and also Mo Farah. When these men run the distance races, they did not sit around for the others to outkick them. A lot of time they take the pace out red hot, especially Bekele, red hot pace. So anyone that wants to win will have to go with him, right? A lot of times they can't go with him, so they burn, right? So this is day 5, in a nutshell, completed the review. But now, what I want to share with you is what is going to happen on day number 6, because I normally do that too. What is coming up on day number 6? What finals there to look for? Because I believe that day number 6 will be a special day. Very special day. Especially for those who like the 400 meters for women. Now, I'm going to say this outright. Right? I must say this outright. That tomorrow in the women's 400 meter finals, there is possibility of seeing 47 seconds run in the 400 meters. That has not happened for at least 40 years, close to 40 years. A woman hasn't run sub 48 in the 400 meters. But that might happen tomorrow. In the women's 400 meter finals, there is one called Sydney McLaughlin-Levereau. She ran 48.3 in the semifinals, and God, she look easy. I've been saying this, from Grand Slam track, Kingston. I have been saying it, that there are certain athletes in our world today who, if they really want to, they have the potential to come close to the 48 seconds barrier or break the 48 seconds barrier. And Sydney McLaughlin was one of them that I mentioned and talk about. Sydney McLaughlin-Levereau have the ability to, Salva Eid Nasser have the ability to, and Marilady Paulino has the ability to. And tomorrow, all of these athletes will be in the same finals. The women's 400 meter finals, you do not want to miss it. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be special. If all three was to go sub 48 or 48.0, that has been the fastest 400 meter. I know for sure that whoever is gonna win tomorrow of the three will have to go extremely fast. Extremely fast. And that I look forward to. Earlier, as I said before, earlier in the season, Grand Slam track, Kingston, I did a video when entitled The Unbreakable 400 Meters Record. And when you have time, when you leave this live, you can go and watch it. I had mentioned these 3 athletes by name as potential candidates to break sub 48. And I also had mentioned Nikisha Price in it, and I'd mentioned Gabby Thomas in it. Because Gabby Thomas, should be a 200, 400 runner. She's not really a 100, 200 meter runner. A lot of people don't know that, but Gabby Thomas should be a 200, 400 meter runner. If you notice, her 100 meter times are not improving. That says that she should be a 200, 400 meter runner. Because even though she's not training for a 400, is Gabby Thomas still run 49.14 in the 400 meters for a person not training for it. So just imagine if she was training for it. Yeah? So the woman's 400 meter is in a special place. And I really would want to see those records go. So tomorrow we can possibly see a 400 meter championship record from the woman running sub 47.99 seconds. Tomorrow, 5,000 meter heats is tomorrow. The women's high jump qualification is tomorrow. And in the women's 5,000 too, that is another event that you guys would want to watch the finals of, because in that finals, potentially you will have Beatrice Chebet and Faith Kipyegon, two Kenyan great. Now, Beatrice Chebet has run the 5,000 meters this year in sub 14 minutes. The first woman to do it. Right, we'll also have the women's high jump. Women's high jump will be there too. Qualifications tomorrow. Yeah. And the men's javelin finals is tomorrow also. Look forward to that. Women's 800 meters heats is tomorrow also. Men's 200 meters semi-final is tomorrow. Women's 200 meters semi-finals is also tomorrow. The men's 800 meters semi-finals is tomorrow also. And day number 6. The men's 400 meters finals is also tomorrow. The men's 400 meters final is very unpredictable. Very, 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 very unpredictable. So at this point, we don't know who in the men's 400, right, will be winning the gold. It's very unpredictable. Now, these are the persons who will be in it. Jerry Richards of Trinidad and Tobago, Jacori Patterson, Epi of Botswana, Colin Kebina Shippey of Botswana, Rasheen McDonald of Jamaica. Very surprised that he made it to the finals, but congratulations, because the Jamaican public give Rasheen McDonald a hard time this year, right? But he proved them wrong, proved them very wrong. Sakiti Nene, right, of South Africa. He was the world leader up until yesterday when Kebina Shippey run 43.61. So Nene, but to me, Nene looked the easiest of those who qualified. So he looked like he have a lot more. So he possibly can push for the podium, is Nene. Endore of Botswana also will be there. So if you notice, Botswana have 3 guys in the 400 meter finals. And the last person is the hometown favorite, Nagajima of Japan, who has lowered his national record to 44.44 in this championship. So that's the men's 400 meter final set for tomorrow, day 6. The women's 400 meter finals, I talked about that already, so I'm not going to talk back on that, right? But I don't know, the semifinals for the men and women 200 meters, the start lists are already out. So in the men's 200 meter semifinals, it's going to be red hot. Oh my God. Heat number 1, right? Kenny Bednarik is in heat number 1 of the men's 200 meters semifinal, along with Alex Agando, Christopher Taylor, and right, so Christopher Taylor, who else? I'm not seeing the full list. Alex Ogando, Christopher Taylor, Kenny Bednarik, Maka Charamba, Toa Azuwa, the Japanese, Wade Van Niekerk, Aaron Brown, Rias of Switzerland. So that's the men's 200 meters semi heat 1. So you would expect Kenny Bednarik to go through. Alex Ogando also expect him to go through. Now who is gonna get? Will probably be Maka Charamba. It's gonna be the name. It's gonna be between Maka Charamba and Van Niekerk for the 3rd place, but it's the first 2 that go through by right, plus the 2 fastest times. So you expect Kenny to be there, and Alex Ogando, and then I can't say who is gonna go through. I would want Christopher Taylor to run well, run a personal best. And possibly if we make it through, that would be nice. All right. So semi-final number 2, right, will be Jerome Blake, Ryan Zize, Goat,